Hey everybody, Happy New Year. JC here. It is Thursday, January 2nd. About to go run a couple of quick errands. It's about 2:30 in the afternoon. I've already got the destination set in the navigation, so let's get on the road. All right, we got the rear camera up. Backing out. Son's still home from college, so he's still got another week here at home before he heads back up to Dallas. A little bit cooler here today. As you can see, it's definitely overcast. We don't have a lot of rain that's come through, but it's currently 60 degrees here in the greater Houston metro area. All right, throw up our left blinker. About to turn left, no traffic coming either direction, so we're good to go. Yeah, just a couple of quick errands today, not a whole lot. I'm gonna run by Lowe's, the home department store, and then go to the convenience store real quick, and then head to my wife's family restaurant real quick, and then we'll head on back home. So again, not a lengthy journey today, and a lot of people are probably, I don't know, this week, it's Thursday, January 2nd. My guess is a lot of folks went ahead and took this week off, and so there may not be a lot of traffic on the road today. But nonetheless, since we're in the Tesla and using FSD, we'll throw the video cameras up. The other thing I'll go ahead and do today is, unlike the last time I was in the Tesla and I had entered YouTube questions into my iPhone for easy reference. Got a young lady crossing the street here. We're going to wait on her. And there we go. Great job. Got some young males, young gentlemen to the right, but they're safely up on the sidewalk, so we should be good there. All right, we're going to get over into the left turning lane to get ready to make a left turn onto North Park, but we have stoplight right now. So yeah, I had gone through a bunch of my YouTube comments and X comments and jotted them all down into my iPhone for easy reference. But as I've mentioned previously, I do not pick up my phone while I am supervising Tesla FSD. And it's not just because I'm on camera and I want to set a good example. I don't believe anybody should be picking up their phone in their car, especially while it's driving. I mean, I can see, obviously, when you're at a stoplight like we are now, picking up the phone, I can understand a little bit there, but I mean, let's just be blunt. That's not what most people are doing. So I don't like that. So I went ahead and tried to go based off of what I could remember off the top of my head that I had put in there. And then, because of the fact that I am so loquacious, and that's a nice way of saying I'm a loudmouth, I only got through one question during the entire 2+ hour drive through downtown Houston and Buffalo Bayou, Allen Parkway, Memorial Drive, Memorial Park, all the way back home. 2+ hours, and I handled one question. So I'm hoping that I can start rattling off some more of those here. So one thing I did today is I went ahead and I wrote down on a piece of paper. I want to get some index cards, and I'll start writing them down on on some small index, or some actually probably larger index cards, and just keep them there for quick, easy reference, so that I don't have to fumble around with my iPhone and try to get into that and read stuff. And I'll keep them like bullet points, you know, just quick things to glance at, just to remind me really quick. But so yeah, one of the first things that I wanted to talk about during this FSD drive is I definitely got some follow-up responses, comments, questions, reactions to my discussion on Cybercabs. And one of the responses, I'll say it's a response or a reaction that I got, was, oh great, so these things, we're gonna start churning out 2 to 4 million of these things every year, and they're just gonna be running around crazy all over the place, clogging up the roads. And so it wasn't so much a question, it was a reaction. And in fairness to that individual, I got a couple of, although not as short and pithy as this particular comment was, I did get a couple of others that were kind of like in that same realm of like, well, how's this even going to work? Aren't we just going to throw more vehicles into the mix? And so my response, and one that I want to broach here as well, I guess the first item on my list, because I do want, since it was a pre-existing question that I answered and one that I went into more detail on, I want to go ahead and tackle that one first. So let me give you some facts first. So yes, to answer his question, yes, they will be looking to produce up to 2 million Cybercabs on an annual run rate at some point in 2026. Ultimately, they want to be at a run rate of 2 to 4 million Cybercabs a year. So absolutely, in a vacuum, is that going to theoretically increase the amount of vehicles being produced? Yeah, like any other car. Like any company comes out with a new model or produces new vehicles the next year, that's theoretically going to increase the number of vehicles out there. So to directly answer, and I'm going to go into a bit more detail, but to directly answer his question, oh, that was kind of an ill-timed move right there, but we did well, is that yes, anytime a vehicle manufacturer decides to manufacture more cars the following year, theoretically, yes. So the GMC Sierra in front of us, my guess is that GM is going to produce more Sierras in 2025. So are those new GMC Sierras going to increase the amount of vehicles we have on the road and clog up the roads, as this person put it? Yeah. So that's every vehicle manufacturer with every planned vehicle they produce in 2025. So I say all that obviously I got the inference from this person's question is he was okay with every other car company and every other make of car clogging up the roads. It was just a Tesla Cybercab clogging up there. So that, yes, to answer his question just directly, absolutely, it's going to increase the amount of vehicles initially on the road. And you know, so that, and would that, in his mind, will that further clog up the roads? I guess so, if all things being equal. But let me give you some other facts. So I just mentioned that they're going to look to produce a couple of million of these Cybercabs in 2026 and get to a run rate of 2 to 4 million. There are currently 296 million vehicles registered in the United States of America. Let me repeat that. There are 296 million vehicles registered in the United States on our roads. So to have a problem with a company producing 2 million of anything in that atmosphere, that is 0.6% of the vehicles registered in the United States of America. We aren't even talking about a rounding error. Okay, so the threat of the Cybercab being the reason that there's any clogging of the American roads would be a solution looking for a problem. So just keep those numbers in mind. 296, 2. The other thing that I would remind folks of is we have over so out of that 297 million, half of those are trucks. Half of those, and when I say trucks, I mean the truck in front of us. So a personal utility truck, a Ford F-150, Ford F-250, Ford F-350, GMC Sierra, Dodge Ram truck, Chevy Silverado, all of the Toyota Tacoma, Toyota Tundra, all of that. Half, and then let me finish that statement. Suburbans, Yukons, what's the Toyota Sequoia. So all the SUV models that are out there. Out of that 297 million I mentioned, half of that are those. Those vehicles all weigh in excess of 3 tons. 3 tons, 6,000 pounds. Now there's a few of them that, I'm not sure what those wipers were for, but the wipers are agreeing with me. So there may be a few of those. Let's take the smallest Ford F-150 without all the bells and whistles, but even that's like 5,500 pounds. So for all intents and purposes, you're talking about half of the vehicles on our roads in the United States of America weigh in excess of 3 tons. The Tesla Cybercab is going to be around 2,000 pounds or less. So these vehicles that are already on our roads are 3 times bigger, 3 times heavier than this Cybercab. And it's the Cybercab that's going to clog up the roads. So I just want to preface for everybody that just remember the landscape of the American road infrastructure today. Nearly 300 million vehicles registered and on our roads, and half of those weigh more than 3 tons individually. 3 tons. That vehicle right there, directly in front of us, this Ford F-150, that vehicle is 6,500 pounds. Actually, that one's probably a little bit more because it looks like he's definitely using it as so I'll give him kudos. He looks like he may be using it as a work truck, right? Because he's got the tools in the back there. But most of the people driving around here in those Ford F-150s are not using them as work trucks, and those weigh 3 tons plus. So just keep all that in mind when you're basically you're judging the Cybercab by a set of rules you're not applying to any other car manufacturer nor any other car that is already on the road. So that's first and foremost. So those are just the plain objective factoids of where we are today. So then to go further to respond to his question is like, yes, the plan is that these Cybercabs would run all day long. They are going to be purpose built to do 5 to 10 times more miles than what a typical passenger vehicle does today. So you could see these things, they're going to be manufactured to get up into that 1,000,000-mile range easily, right? Because there are Teslas today that are, you know, there's some old Teslas that are, you know, well above 500,000 miles already. So, you know, even the Teslas built today can get into the half to 3/4 of the way there with the EV battery packs they have today. Well, these are going to be purpose built. Like, these are not going to be luxury sedans, right? This is not going to be the BMW 5. This is not going to be the Mercedes S-Class. These are not going to be the Tesla Model S or the Tesla Model X or even the Tesla Model 3. These are not going to be luxury sedans. These are going to be purpose-built vehicles specifically for a passenger experience, but to get you from point A to point B and then get on the road, get back on the road and go pick somebody else up. All right, I'm going to put a pin in that because I wasn't finished discussing that aspect of it, but we are turning into the Lowe's parking lot. Well, first we're turning into the HEB parking lot. And then we got to get through HEB to get over to Lowe's. So let's just keep our head on a swivel here now that we're in a parking lot, see how we do. All right, we're going through the HEB parking lot. Got a little bit of congestion here. Continuing to move through. Got a young lady getting herself and her child out of her Volkswagen Jetta. Continuing to go past the front of the HEB. I'll slow down a little bit here, both for the speed stop as well as the vehicle in front of us turning left. There we go. Get over that speed hump. All right, continuing to move through. Got some pedestrians to the side and the back and the front, but we're handling all that well. So is the Ford Fusion in front of us. Very good job, Ford Fusion. All right, continue to move through here. Got a lot of speed bumps here, but that's a good placement for them in front of the HEB with many cars. All right, we got the stop sign. So we stop here. We got it's essentially a 3-way stop, but it's a weird one. But either way, we were there first. All right, get around that truck. Now we're into the Lowe's parking lot. Now let's just see how we do at the Lowe's. Is it going to drop us off in front like it's been doing at other large retail outlets, or is it going to go ahead and try to park us? We shall see. We shall see. Another Ford F-150, Dodge Ram truck, GMC Sierra. Get around that young lady right there. All right, let's see what we do here. Yep, and it is going to drop us off right in front. All right, everybody. Well, I'm going to get parked, and I will go into the Lowe's, take care of my business, and I will talk to y'all here in a second. Bye. All right, everybody. Back in the Tesla, ready to get back on the road and go across the street to the convenience store and then on to the restaurant. So let's get on the road. All right, we got the first camera. And out, coming out of the Lowe's parking lot. Should be able to go, no cars coming. There we go. Go by the Raising Cane's and the IHOP. Man, I'm not sure what that place is. A lot of food restaurants, not quick, but you know, this guy's got the little lawnmower engine behind me. All right, we're gonna go directly across here, but we've got crossing traffic here that has the right-of-way, and then we also have a vehicle coming from our left that has the right-of-way, but we should be good right now. And there we go. Great job. All right, continuing to move through. Look at a Corvette in front of us. Whew, Lord. All right, get over that speed hump. Great job slowing down for that speed hump, because it was a big one. All right, we got a stop sign here, and we've got a two-way stop. The traffic going directly in front of us, or directly this way. They have the right-of-way, but there was nobody there. All right, we got another speed hump coming up here. Let's see how we do here. Great job. We slow down to 3 miles an hour to go over that. All right. And then we got one more right here. Let's see how we do. Great job. All right, let's see how we do here. All right, we got crossing traffic here. We're gonna try to get into the median. Great, thank you very much. They stopped for us. Let's see how we do here. We got a car. There we go. We take our, there we go, because they were turning. Great job. Man, that was such a great job going across there. I'm going to be honest with you folks. When I plugged that one in and I saw the direction it wanted to go in the navigation, I was like, man, I don't know. Heck, people can't get across there at that time of day. And now, you do such a great job, and then you park us on the yellow. It parked us right in front, and it's trying to do a really good, let me see what it does here. It just stops. This was not the best parking job, because we are right on a spot that's got the double yellow lines on it. That's you're supposed to stay out of it. So I'm gonna repark and run into the convenience store real quick for my brother-in-law, and then I will be back out and we'll go to the restaurant. All right, see you in a second. Bye. All right, everybody, back in the Tesla after the convenience store. Let's get back on the road. All right. Reversing out here. No other vehicles. Sounds like we got some emergency vehicles. I don't know exactly where they're coming from. Looked like they were going that way. All right, we're going past the Take 5 oil change. We're gonna have to go all the way back across again. Let's see if we can do this again. All right. No traffic coming right now. We get over in the median, we take our shot, we get in there. Great job. All right, yes, we're gonna say we need to get over into this lane. Good lane selection too. Man, that was just fantastic. So I didn't really pontificate on it much once we got over there, but I'll tell you, when I put in the navigation in the Lowe's parking lot to get over to the convenience store, I thought it was going to just try to do like a rectangle or a box to get us around there. But no, it said, we're just going to go straight across. We're going to go straight across where Westlake Houston Parkway and 1960 intersect. One of the big major intersections is all sorts of road construction, lots of traffic, and we're just going to go straight across. I'm like, whoo-wee, okay. I was ready. But it did fantastic. It not only accepted, because you need to be able to accept a human driver, adult driver courtesy. There's no other way you're going to get across. But not only accept it, you got to be quick about it. You know what I'm talking about. Like, we'll give somebody a little bit of courtesy at those busy intersections, but if they don't take it like that, we're like, well, Bubba, I guess you want to sit there a while. So you've got to not just be able to recognize that they're giving you the courtesy, but you've got to do it in less than half a second. And it did, and it got across over into that median. And then I thought it was going to kind of have to get like hover there and get stuck in the median before it kept going, but the car directly to our right was turning, had put on their blinker and slowed significantly down, and that gave us the opportunity to get across. And it's probably not going to come through in the video, but when it went across, it really gave it a boost. Like, I could feel it in my buns that it knew, like, okay, we're taking this opportunity. They presented a gap. We got to go. But since we're going, we really got to go. Like, none of this 10 mile per hour lollygag our way over to the oil change place and then hang a right. It's like, no, I'm going to give you 25 for a quick half second so we can get across. It was just beautiful. It was like, I will tell you, if it can handle situations like that, there's just not many. I mean, that's pretty damn good. That is really, really doggone good. So, and then it did it again coming back. Now, I will acknowledge that our second time through was not as difficult as getting over there, but both times, it's just like, now you don't even, like, no, just put in the navigation. Who cares about which way it's telling you it's going to take you, because it can handle it. That was just great. All right, so now we are about to head over to the boba shop. I know I still put a pin in my Cybercab update. The one of the things I was also going to mention around the Cybercabs is, here's another factoid about the vehicles that are on our road today while we're still on the way to the boba shop, to the restaurant, Vietnamese restaurant / boba shop, is, oh, wait a second, let's put a pin in that. Cybertruck to our left with a beautiful black wrap too. Nice. They had some sort of logo at the bottom, looked like dynamic something. So let me know in the comments, but that Cybertruck had a beautiful black wrap on it. Man, it looked menacing. I say beautiful, like in a menacing sort of way, but it had a logo at it on the side of the car. It looked like it said dynamic something, but that's pretty cool that folks are getting them and using them for their businesses. That was gorgeous in a menacing sort of way. All right, continue to put a pin in the Cybercab discussion, because we are about to get to the restaurant, put on our right blinker to go into the parking lot. See how we do here. Is it going to try to park us, or is it going to drop us off in front? Let us see. It's slowing down, but I think that's because there's a vehicle coming out. Nope, it's going to end it there. All right, well, let me park, and we will be back on the road here in a little bit. All right, everybody, bye. All right, everybody, back in the Tesla from the restaurant. Time to head home. Let's see how we do here. Got a bicyclist behind us, but they've moved on through. Reverse out. See how we do here. On our left blinker, nobody coming. Got some oncoming traffic, but we can go now, and we do. Perfect job. All right. And now we are on our last leg to head home. So yeah, I put a pin in the discussion on the Cybercab. Where was it? What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So one other factoid to mention, and again, this is gonna, the facts I'm gonna mention here are averages. So you could be different. In fact, you probably are different. Either statistically, you're all different from this fact I'm about to mention, because it's an average. So you're either less than this or more than this. But on average, a vehicle such as the one I am in now, which is either manually driven or autonomously driven, that is a personally owned passenger vehicle, is used on average 10 hours a week. 10. So you think about it. Your commute to work, commute to school, going to the grocery store, going to church or synagogue, temple, mosque, whatever it is you go to. All those daily and weekly family work related type of stuff, it all adds up on average to 10 hours a week. Now, like I said, some of y'all may be sitting there going, well, JC, I at least do 15 to 20 hours a week. Okay. Well, there's other folks that are 1 to 2 hours a week, right? They don't need it. They're not going 50 miles a day to downtown Houston. They may be going 3 to 6 miles a day to get to their job. Or they may not have to leave the house every day in the first place. Maybe they have hybrid work, where they work in an office 2 or 3 days a week and work from home 2 or 3 days a week. Or work from home fully 1 week and work at an office, or they work from home full time. So anyway, 10 hours a week. 10 hours a week is the average across the country. Well, there's 168 hours in a week. 168. So out of a total available 168 hours a week that you own your vehicle, like that's your vehicle, you spent good, hard-earned money. All right, we're about to take a right here. We have a pedestrian. We wait to make sure she's not crossing, and we go. Great job. That was fantastic. So there was clearly a pedestrian that had walked over to the median that was waiting to get across, but they saw our right blinker on. We were willing to give her the opportunity to walk across, but she decided to stand there. We gave her about a second or two, and then we moved on. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Couldn't ask for anything better than that. I mean, we can't make her walk across, right? That's her choice. But once she clearly made the decision to stay there in the median, we went on. Great job. Great job. All right, let me see where we're headed to from here. Okay, we're gonna take a right on Atascocita Road. Okay, sounds good. So yeah, so there's 168 total hours in the week. And on average, we only use our vehicles 10 out of those 168 hours. So that's well over 90%, 95% of the time that your vehicle is around you. It's parked somewhere. Parked in your garage, parked in your driveway, parked along the side of your house, parked at your office, parked at the grocery store, parked at wherever. It's just parked, taking up space, not doing anything. Not doing anything. 95% of a car's existence today is done doing nothing more than what those vehicles right there, that Tesla, that other Model 3 right there, that nice little red Model 3, it's doing nothing nothing. And so the Cybercab is going to solve that equation. So the Cybercab, yes, it is going to be designed to be running day and night. Now, don't get me wrong, it can't run 24/7 because it needs to charge, but it will be running most hours of the day. And so there may be a period of time where, you know, the Cybercabs may go to a destination between 2 and 4 o'clock in the morning, or 3 to 4 in the morning, where it gets charged up and cleaned and, you know, inspected and whatnot. But for 20 plus hours a day, that Bubba, it's just going to be rolling. And so when it drops you off, it's moving on to something else, to go get somebody else. And so what that's going to do is, over time, over time, that is going to bring down the number of passenger vehicles in our country. It just is. So you may look at that and go, well, no, I don't want to give up my car. Well, it's going to be gradual, right? It's going to be gradual, and then all of a sudden. And what I mean by gradual is, most families own more than one car. So, like, take me for instance. I've literally at certain times of the year, I've got 5 or 6 vehicles parked in front of my house. And so, do all families? Okay, I thought we may try to make that one. We probably no. You know what? Tesla FSD made the right choice. I'm gonna have to look at that. We might have been able to make that, because as long as you get in there when it's yellow, but I don't know. Something tells me that I'm the wrong one there in that estimation, that we were right in slowing down and stopping there. And you're always right. If you're gonna stop at a red light, you're always right, so don't try to push it. See? That's where my human instinct is coming in, and probably thinking we should have done something stupid. But Tesla FSD didn't. Anyway, so, you know, most families own well in excess of 1 vehicle, 1 or 2 vehicles, in some cases more than 3 vehicles. And so what that's initially going to do, okay, we got a yellow caution light. What that's initially going to do is, a lot of families that have 3+ vehicles, I think that helps you get rid of a vehicle, right? Because if you know that there is a Cybercab robo-taxi service out there that can handle not the base load, but that's, you know, the swing volume that you need, so to speak. All right, looks like we're gonna have a gap here on this caution yellow. Perfect job, perfect. Handled that perfectly. Love it. So yeah. So I think the initial impact, there's going to be 2 places in our society that Cybercabs are going to have an immediate initial impact. It's going to be with upper middle class to upper middle class families that own more than, like, let's say 2+ vehicles, 3+ vehicles. I don't think it's probably going to impact, like, the wealthy, because let's just be blunt, they get driven everywhere anyway, right? Or the vehicles they have are for mostly pleasure anyway, right? You're not buying a Mercedes S-Class because you need to get from point A to point B every day. You're buying a Mercedes S-Class because you want a Hampton Inn on wheels, right? Sounds like we got, let me put a pin in that real quick, because I want to make sure where this emergency vehicle's coming from. I hear it, but I have no clue where it's coming from. All right, there it is. Okay, so still not an opportunity to see how we react to emergency vehicles. I was wondering if it was coming up behind us, that would have given us the opportunity to say, hey, does 13.2.2 have any sort of reaction whatsoever to emergency vehicles? Does it stop and not move at a green light, or does it move up? But no opportunity to see. My guess is nah. But here's the thing, it's a neural net. It is an end-to-end neural net. So even though that functionality hasn't been completely built in to the suite yet, doesn't mean something might not emerge every now and then. I mean, it's a neural net, right? So anyway, so yeah, I think in, like, middle to upper middle class families who are right now dependent on 2 to 3+ vehicles, those families may be buy one less vehicle, right? I think they'll still have passenger vehicles, but they'll get rid of. Now, the other place, I mentioned 2 places it's going to impact. I think at the lower end of society, I think it's really going to help them. And I'll use myself as an example. You know, I grew up in a fairly poor working class environment. I had a single mom, grew up in trailer parks and apartment homes for the most part in the Beaumont, Houston area here in Southeast Texas. And bless her heart, my mom, you know, we lived paycheck to paycheck. There was no savings in our family. I mean, it was like, you know, we were working poor. Like, fortunately, she always did enough to where we weren't like on welfare or anything like that. But we were just right above that. I mean, always just a scope. And in fairness, to anybody, because I don't want to cast aspersions that like, hey, if you need help, go get help. Like, I'm not saying that, oh, we were greater because my mom never had to ask for welfare. No, because we had my grandparents. So there were plenty of times that if things fell through, you know, God bless my grandparents, my granny and my pawpaw, is that if, like, there were plenty of times we just had to move in with my grandparents. So when finally my mom would get herself back up on her feet, we'd move out and go get our own place, and she'd get an apartment or get, you know, rent a trailer in a trailer park or something like that. But when things fell through, we would just move back in with my grandparents. And my mom had a tough time. I mean, I won't get into all of it, but there were some other personal reasons why my mom struggled a bit. It wasn't it wasn't all skill sets. She had a skill set. It was, you know, it was the 70s, let's put it that way, and she enjoyed to hang out with her girlfriends and boyfriends. And anyway, so she got herself cleaned up eventually, and so everything ended up being good to go. But yeah, she had her personal struggles as well. And but she worked hard. She really worked hard. And I use that as an example. Is we had like a 1973 Ford Pinto, red Ford Pinto. And I'm gonna tell you what, that, and I know that the Ford Pinto has become a punchline for vehicles now. But I'm gonna tell you what, my mom, with the help of my grandfather, with the help of my pawpaw, and let me just be brutally honest as well, with the help of my pawpaw and some of her boyfriends, the boyfriends that would come in and out of our life from time to time, she kept that Ford Pinto together with baling wire and bubble gum. And it was just, I mean, and I'm going to tell you the truth. If you were poor working class, if you were the working poor, and you were dependent on your vehicle to get back and forth to a job, and that car went out on you, like if your radiator went out on you, or you were having engine problems, I mean, you could lose your job. I mean, there were, I mean, this is gonna sound ridiculous to some of y'all, but there were a few times where the whole reason we had to move out of an apartment building and go move in with my grandparents is the Ford Pinto was having problems. As ridiculous as that sounds, but in 1976, 1977, yeah, your car was, you know, depended on it quite a bit. And you did not have the disposable income to just lay down however much money it was. I mean, radiators back then were expensive too. And let's just be, let me give y'all, cars were not manufactured back then the way they are today. So an engine didn't last 150,000 miles back in 1972. A radiator didn't last you 100,000 miles like it does today. They crapped out. And so when they did crap out, if you weren't a crackerjack mechanic yourself, you had to go throw down a couple $100. And a couple $100 to a single mom in 1973, 1974, 1975, I mean, that was your month's groceries. That was your month's rent, right? So that was the difference between us, me and her, having our own place, or us having to move in with my grandparents. And I say all that, that's a long-winded way of saying the Cybercab is going to end that. You want to know why I'm so I've told you, if I haven't taken you behind the veil, like the Wizard of Oz, don't look behind the curtain. If I haven't brought you behind the curtain, why I'm so passionate, I'm giving you all the gold nuggets right now. I've told you that, I'm a Marine, and I want to end the 45,000 deaths that are on our roads every year due to vehicles. I want to end that. But I just brought you behind the curtain and gave you another little gold nugget. My life, for the first 18 years of my life, my entire childhood, saw what it's like to be stressed out. Like, I don't know, here's the thing that I'm very fortunate of. I don't know the feeling of being a parent and feeling helpless and living paycheck to paycheck. I have been so blessed. Like, the sacrifices that my mother made for me, like, so I've never felt what it's like to be a parent and have that stress of how to feed your child, how to keep a job and a roof over the head. I've been blessed. My mom made sacrifices for me so that I could go on to college and have a career and completely like my kids have never known that. And I'm so blessed that one thing I can say is my kids, I've been a horse's ass, don't get me wrong. I've been a horse's ass from time to time, and I've done some horse ass moves. But one thing my kids have never had to do was never look at their dad and see the look in their eye like, my God, guys, I'm going to make it happen. I don't know how, but we're going to get there. I've got 20 days left in the month and I'm going to make it happen. They've never had to do that. They don't know what that's like. I do. And, yeah. I mean, if any of y'all have been there, you know what I'm talking about. When you look in your mom's eye or you look in your dad's eye, and you can tell, you can just see it. The stress, just it's an interesting chemical reaction when you combine the worst possible stress you can put on a human being combined with the most amount of love that same human being can have for another. And that's my mom. So she had the most amount of stress you could put on the shoulders of an individual, but she also had the most amount of love that she could have for any human being possible. That's what she had for me. There is no, I mean, I always yeah, I always tell people that when I came out of my bedroom and walked into the kitchen, I walked into a standing ovation every morning. You don't have to be rich to make your kids feel like they can whip the world. And that's the way my mom, that's what she did for me. Yeah, when I walked in, I always tell people, like, I was telling my wife, the reason why I'm such a horse's ass is I walked into the kitchen to a standing ovation every single morning with my mom. But, yeah. Cybercabs. Like, y'all are like, JC, what the hell does this have to do with FSD? I'm so sorry. God. Yeah. I'd bring my mom. My mom's been, she passed away about 12 years ago to breast cancer. So go get your titties checked out. All the ladies out there. And YouTube, you can go ahead and censor that part if you want to, demonetize me. I'm not going to say breast. No, I'm not going to say tata. Go get your titties checked out. Go get your tatas checked out. They won't. YouTube's good about that. Oh, man, we make a nice move right there. Whew, did you see that? Tesla FSD is like, relax, JC. I got you. I got you, baby boy. Don't even worry about any of that. Yeah, no, YouTube's good. Yeah, they're not going to do that. But, yeah. So, what Cybercabs has to do with that, those are the two reasons. That's the two reasons why I'm so passionate about this whole concept of autonomy. Is it's two things in life that have impacted me personally. Is vehicle deaths in the family and being fucking poor. Not poor. Damn poor. Working poor. And yeah, I can imagine what not having to worry about that damn Ford Pinto. Don't get me wrong. You know, I shouldn't even say that. I should thank that Ford Pinto, because there was, number one, there was a lot of great memories in the Ford Pinto, and it did get my mom back and forth to her different jobs and work from time to time, but it broke down too a lot. And man, I want to say my mom, the amount of stress that damn car put on us for her to be able to hold down a job. So Cybercab is going to end that. Not like it's going to take a while to get that pricing down, but Cybercabs, they're going to change the lives of a lot of folks out there that are like my mom, right? Because if you don't absolutely have to own a vehicle, so now you don't have to have a car note. And for those of y'all that are bougie rich, like, for those of y'all that are well-to-do and don't have to worry about a thing, and you're like, well, JC, you can go get a car note for $400 or $500. Shut the hell up. No, look, the amount that these people, when they go and try to get a car loan, they get gouged because they don't have credit, or they have terrible credit. I mean, or they wish they had terrible credit. Like, terrible credit would be like moving up for them. And they don't. They get these 16, 17, 18% loans. And it's gargantuan. So you have people driving around in vehicles today that are worth half of what you drive around in, and they pay nearly twice as much, or about the same. So they're paying the same as you, the $600 or $700 car notes. Plus they got to have insurance. Plus all the upkeep. So if you can wipe that away, there we go, taking a look. If you can take that burden away, so not only the stress of, can I get to my job on time? Can I get my kid dropped off at school before work on time? Or am I going to have a radiator go out on me? Am I going to have to get my dad to come put bubble gum and baling wire around these timing belts, or some other place on, you know, whatever it could be? Am I going to have to do that this month? Take all that aside, and the amount of financial savings they would have, that's going to be huge. So yeah, to those individuals asking me about that, and especially to that one individual, that's my response to you. That's why I am so passionate about autonomy. So I think that was the primary. Let me just make sure. Sorry. Yep. Oh, forgot this. This will show you how little of a tree hugger I am. The last bullet I had written down, that's just kind of a throwaway. Oh yeah, less emissions. So for all you tree huggers out there, for all you beatniks, you green you got that too. Global warming, it'll help that thing out. Like, I get it that the way our grid is today, you know, it still takes the same products to go into making an EV, and quite frankly, the electricity going into my vehicle still has some natural gas and fossil fuel stuff in it. Now granted, that mix is changing, it's getting a lot better, but I get it. That's all that. But even if I give all that to you, it doesn't change the fact that I have 0 emissions coming out of the back of my car. So if I have 2 to 4 million cars per year getting churned out, even if everything stayed the same, even if it was 100% coal going into making the electricity to go into, well, guess where that coal's not getting burned? Right in front of your face, like it does with a Ford Pinto. Yeah, we do not have a big enough gap here. So that was kind of my last bullet on that. Let me just make sure. Yeah, reduced emissions. Oh, one other I forgot about. Less need for parking spots. So if you got Cybercabs running around helping out for that, instead of upper middle class bougie folks like me and you getting that 4th SUV or that 3rd sedan, we opt instead to, hey, maybe 3 vehicles is enough, or maybe 2 is enough, and we'll rely on Cybercab for that kind of what do they call it, the, you know, that flexible leg that we might need. That's one less parking spot we need. Okay, we're a little subtle dance with that car over there with his blinker on. We played that well. So that's going to help. But for the cars that won't even need to exist, you know, there's going to be vehicles that don't even need to exist. So you get rid of those parking. But even more so in highly dense urban environments where, let's just be blunt, all you're doing there is parking a car. You're going into that very, very dense urban environment of downtown Houston, or the medical center of Houston, or the museum district of Houston, or San Francisco, or downtown Los Angeles, or, you know, Disneyland or in Orlando, with that humongous parking lot that's literally the size of most cities. You know, Manhattan, right? Imagine being able to take away all of those parking spots and use it for something else. So instead of that being a humongous parking lot the size of Sweetwater, Tennessee, you now use that for something more valuable that can be used for all hours of the day. Maybe a whole nother park. That's what we need. You know what we need is, instead of 5 parks at Disney World, we need 6 or 7. I'm obviously being facetious there. But, and then the emissions. So I think we're gonna end it. Let's see what we do right here. Well, we're gonna park right here in front of the GMC Sierra. All right, and let me turn off the blinker there. So we did great, no interventions, and we definitely had a few complexities. And I handled one more question from YouTube. Granted, this was a follow-up, but I just wanted to hit that one head on. I think I hit that one pretty head on. Not only did I bring some facts to you about how the Cybercabs are going to be, went through some bullet points, but I kind of let you in, you know, from a personal standpoint, why it is so important to me and why I see vehicle autonomy and Tesla Cybercab robo-taxis helping change humanity, and why I personally want to be a big part of it. And I am playing a part of it, but I want to be a big part of it. And so apologies there. I know I got a little bit emotional. I don't like doing that on camera, but I was talking about my mama, and that's always going to do it, especially when, you know, that brings some memories flooding back for me. So yeah, so all I want to tell you then is thank you for liking, and first of all, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Thank you for commenting. Hug your kids, hug your family, call your family, but definitely hug your mama. Go in the, like, when you see her, then for all of you, you're not living with her and she's still alive, give your mom a call. If you live, if you're, you know, kid, college, whatever, and you live with mom, go give your mom a hug. Tell her that you love her. Tell her thank you for just tell her thank you. For whatever it is the hell she's doing. Even if it's stupid. Even if she's doing some weird woman thing or something. I don't know. Croquet. She's weaving something. I don't know. But she's making you dinner. Or she's trying to get to work for you. Just, you know, thank her. It'll go a long way. It'll go a long way for her right now, but it'll go a lot longer for you later on. So, I'm sorry. All right, everybody. I am going to sign out. I promise this is never going to happen again. And I love all of y'all. Y'all have a great rest of the week. Bye.